Angel Reese calls herself the Michael Jordan of the WNBA because she's iconic. So let's talk about what actually happened at All-Star Weekend in Chicago. A blocked layup where the defender never left the ground, a trip over someone's foot on live TV, celebrities walking right past her, and a shoe moment that got so awkward the internet won't let it go. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark was pulling up from the logo and doing meet and greets in between, with fans showing up to meet Clark instead of the supposed hometown girl, Angel Reese. Stick around because we're breaking down the whole weekend and saving the most humiliating for last. Why was Reese an all-star anyway? Let me know down in the comments below.
To have a Barbie is like you got to be iconic. Yeah, you have to do some real things, and I knew it was going to take some time because there's so many great women that are Barbie dolls and they have their own doll, but I knew that's what I wanted, and I spoke that into existence.
0 points, 9 minutes on the floor. That's the entire stat line for Angel Reese at the All-Star game, and it's the kind of box score that gets screenshotted and passed around for days. 9 minutes isn't a rough patch, it's barely a cameo, and for someone who spent the whole season calling herself the Michael Jordan of the WNBA, it's not the kind of highlight reel you want attached to your name.
That one, as Clark went for the steal on Angel Reese. Asia Wilson getting the block and then saying, hey, I wasn't even trying to there. Angel Wilson and Angel Reese hugging, laughing about it.
Oh,
and now Angel goes down. Oh no, Angel goes down now. And Angel Wilson has to pick her up. What a fun interaction there between Angel Reese and...
Here's how it went down. The United Center is packed. Team Coop is down on the scoreboard, and Reese checks in with the crowd expecting the version of her they see on Instagram. Confident, loud, ready to make a moment out of nothing. Instead, she gets the ball in space, drives to the rim, and puts up a layup that clangs off the rim with nobody around her. No contact, no hand in her face, no excuse to point to afterward. Just an open look that doesn't go down, in front of a national TV audience watching to see if she'd back up all the talk. Then it gets worse, because the next trip down the floor is the one that actually broke Twitter. Reese drives again, and Asia Wilson, the same Wilson who's built a career on being one of the best defenders alive, doesn't even leave the ground. Feet planted, no jump, arms up, and Reese's shot still gets sent back like she ran into a wall. Wilson later admitted she wasn't even trying to block it, saying she doesn't like playing defense that hard in an all-star game and was just trying to get out of the way. That's what makes it worse, not better. Reese didn't get outplayed by effort. She got stuffed by accident. That clip spread everywhere within minutes, and it's not hard to see why. A block where the defender jumps and times it right, that's just basketball. A block where the defender stands flat-footed and still sends it back, that's rejection with no effort attached, and it's the kind of clip that turns into a punchline instead of a highlight. People don't forward a normal defensive play to their group chat. They forward the one where somebody gets embarrassed doing nothing.
I want to ask about two moments. Have you ever blocked a shot that you didn't mean to block?
Right. Angel was not supposed to do that. I was trying to get out of the way. I do not like to block shots during All-Star games because what am I doing? So yeah, no, I've never had that happen to me, and I'm so sorry.
And Reese wasn't done falling, literally, because right after the block, she loses her footing on Wilson's back pedal and goes down on live television, sneakers up, right in front of a building full of cameras pointed at her. 3 separate moments, back to back, on the one weekend where she had the whole league and half of Chicago watching to see if she could match her own hype. Compare that to a full season of her talking about being the face of the league, drawing Jordan comparisons to her own game, and posting like she runs the sport, and the gap between the talk and the tape gets hard to ignore. Players on the bench weren't hiding their reactions either, and analysts on set had that look people get when they're trying not to laugh on camera but failing anyway. Nobody had to say anything. The faces did it for them.
What makes you her?
I'm really confident within myself. Nobody can tell me I'm not that girl. I wake up every morning.
And now she's in Atlanta. What's Atlanta giving?
Atlanta giving black girl magic. It's giving culture. It's giving lemon pepper wings. It's giving Atlanta dream. It's giving everything. So I'm really happy to be in Atlanta, and make sure y'all come out and pull up.
You're gonna see me at a game. Best believe. Last question: Are you the art or the artist tonight?
I'm both. I'm the artist. I'm that girl. Okay.
Within an hour, that sequence, the miss, the no jump block, the fall, got turned into memes running across every basketball page on the internet, and it followed her the entire rest of the weekend. And honestly, the court wasn't even where it got worse for her, because later that weekend, a very famous visitor showed up to practice. And what he did when he saw Reese was somehow more brutal than anything that happened in that game. What does it look like when a former president of the United States walks right past you like you're not even in the room? That's the question everyone in Chicago was asking after All-Star practice wrapped up at the Obama Presidential Center, and it's the second gut punch of the weekend for Angel Reese.
It's so funny because when my plane was landing yesterday, he was right next to my plane too, and he was like, they were like VIP, nobody can get off the plane. I'm like, well, we VIP too, and they said Obama. I was like, oh, okay.
Barack Obama shows up to practice, cameras rolling, and every player in that gym lines up hoping for a word, a handshake, maybe a photo they can post later. That's a normal reaction. The guy was president for 8 years. He's a Chicago guy through and through, and everybody in that building grew up watching him on TV. So the energy in the room shifts the second he walks in, and players are angling to get near him. Reese is right there, positioned exactly where you'd expect the so-called face of Chicago basketball to be standing, and by her own framing all season, that's exactly what she thinks she is. She's called herself the Michael Jordan of the WNBA, and this was supposed to be her moment with a Chicago legend of a different kind. Except Obama's path doesn't stop at Reese. He walks straight past her.
Oh, hey, Caitlin, how are you? Really nice to meet you. You're great. You're fantastic.
Thank you.
Don't let all this nonsense get you down.
Crazy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you know, I always say one of the things that was luckiest for me was I didn't get famous till I was like 45. So I was an old man.
Yeah.
I mean, you're my daughter's age. They're not to have that much, burden and nonsense.
Where does he stop? Right at Caitlin Clark. He starts talking to her directly, engaging her one-on-one while Reese stands a few feet away in full view of every camera in that gym. Obama tells Clark not to let all this nonsense get her down, and brings up his own story, how he didn't get famous until his 40s, and points out that Clark is dealing with that level of attention while still in her 20s. He tells her to not lose that joy, reminding her she's a hooper, she's always going to be hooping, and that she's on a nice little run right now. Clark actually asks for a photo, and when he says yes, she immediately pulls other players into the shot too, which tells you something about her instincts in that moment. The body language in that clip does all the talking. You don't need a reporter narrating it, you don't need commentary explaining what happened. You just watch Reese's face as Obama's back is turned to her, and it says everything. Clark called the conversation one she'll remember for the rest of her life, and said the president is probably one of the only people who actually understands what that kind of spotlight feels like. Meanwhile, Reese is standing there, watching the exact thing she's been chasing all season happen to someone else.
So don't lose that joy. The game's like the game. And you're a hooper. And you hoop.
I try, sometimes.
No, you always hoop.
Thanks.
And you're on a nice little run right now.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
You mind if I get a picture?
Yeah, come on.
Ready?
Come on.
So cute. Wait, guys, get in with me too.
Come on.
Nice to meet you.
Come on.
Fans and pundits jumped on this immediately, calling it one of the most brutal, unscripted moments of the entire weekend. And it's not hard to see why it hit harder than a missed shot. A bad layup, you shrug it off. Everybody has an off night. Nobody remembers box scores from an exhibition game 6 months later. But you can't spin getting walked past by a president. There's no stat correction for that. No highlight to post over it, nothing to point to that changes what the cameras caught in real time. For a lot of fans, that clip became the proof they'd been waiting for all season. Actual evidence of who the league, and honestly the country, sees as the face of women's basketball right now. And Reese wasn't just getting skipped in these moments. While she was chasing attention, Clark was somewhere else entirely, putting in work most stars skip during All-Star weekend. If you think Reese is an embarrassment, Drop a like and let me know why in the comments below. What was Clark actually doing in the hours that never make it onto a highlight reel? Because while Reese was busy chasing cameras and getting skipped by a president, Clark was somewhere else completely, and it wasn't a nightclub or a party bus.
I'm excited, obviously these weekends are packed with a lot of different stuff, but you never take for granted a moment like this. It's so fun to share with everybody. I feel very authentic, I feel very real. I feel like they could feel like I was in their shoes at one point because I was. I lived their dream. I played every sport growing up. I played with the boys, and I didn't think it was any different. I get to live out my dream, and that's really special. And not everybody's gonna end up being a WNBA player or a professional athlete, but hopefully you allow them to dream to be whatever they want to be in life, and I think that's a really impactful thing on young people.
All-Star Weekend is usually a party circuit. Players show up for appearances, hit the nightlife, shoot content for their own brands, and treat the whole thing like a vacation with a game attached at the end. Nobody blames them for it. That's what the weekend has turned into around the league. But Clark's schedule looked nothing like that. Her calendar was charity events, fan meet and greets, and sponsor stops for State Farm, Wilson, and Nike, one after another with barely a gap between them. This wasn't a quick photo op and out the door either. Fans lined up for hours just to get a wave or a signature, and multiple people who were there said Clark stayed past the time she was actually contracted to stay, working through lines that kept growing instead of cutting them off early. That's not the move of someone chasing attention. That's the move of someone who understands the attention is already there and decides to do something with it.
With the sharpshooter, Caitlin Clark.
Then she still had a game to play, and she didn't treat it like a formality. Clark finished with 17 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, and a steal. And she came out firing immediately, scoring 11 points in the first 3 minutes to set the tone before some players had even broken a sweat. Pulling up from the logo isn't just a highlight, it's a statement. And she made that statement early enough that the rest of the game had to adjust around her.
Marcus talked about being excited to play with Olivia Miles as Clark puts in the first points of tonight's All-Star game.
And
here is Clark. Clark pulling and hitting on a deep. Players going up against each other. Howard having an incredible year for the Lynx. Clark again on a bomb. Here's Clark. Will she try again? You bet! Caitlin Clark with 3 logo bombs within the first 3 minutes.
And it wasn't only offense. Clark played defense with an intensity that felt out of place in a game where most players are coasting, closing out on shooters and fighting through screens like the score actually mattered. That's the difference between a player performing for cameras and a player competing out of habit, because you don't turn that switch on for an exhibition unless it's just how you're wired. She wasn't chasing a highlight package, she was chasing the win, and the two things aren't always the same. Afterward, when reporters brought up the media noise that's followed her all season, Clark separated the performance from the noise around it, making it clear she's not going to let outside narratives define who she is or how she plays the game. That's not the reaction of a newcomer overwhelmed by the spotlight. That's someone who's already figured out how to compartmentalize the chaos and keep working. And it's a level of maturity that stood out even more next to everything unraveling around Reese that same weekend.
With the steal. 1-point team spoon lead. Clark connects on the 3. 4-3 and a half. Asia Wilson getting the block. And then saying, hey, I wasn't even trying to there. Asia Wilson and Angel Reese hugging. How excited they were to play together here in the All-Star game as Wilson flicks it in off the feet. Backing away, firing a deep 3 and hitting.
And the fan experience told the same story. People showed up hoping to catch a glimpse of the hometown star in Chicago, and instead found themselves crowding around Clark's line, waiting just as long for her as they would have for anyone born and raised in that city. By the time the weekend wrapped, Clark had put in more work off the court than a lot of players manage across an entire season of appearances combined. And that work ethic, that willingness to show up for people, ended up turning into something you could actually hold in your hands. A shoe. One that every single All-Star suddenly wanted a pair of.
Caitlin, I'm curious, did you hook up any teammates or anybody with the shoe? Or, I mean,
Courtney Williams is rocking them tonight, which, like, I've had multiple people ask for them. I only have size 9 right now, so they're actually playing in my samples.
That's actually my size too.
Both the stud buds have them on. Both the stud buds have them on. So, yeah, this is a pretty fun pair, and you're looking at, I think it's like Valentine's Day edition. You got the charm on there, but I was going to wear some all-white ones. I'm like, that's not fun enough. We got to break out some fire.
So cute with the color. The ombre matches the jersey. You mentioned teammates, right? You both have teammates you're participating with. What have you loved?
Picture this: a room full of the best players in the world, and every single one of them is asking about the same pair of shoes. And it's not Angel Reese's. That's exactly what happened in Chicago once Clark's new Caitlin ones showed up at All-Star Weekend. Players noticed immediately, and it wasn't just polite compliments in passing either. People wanted pairs before the shoe even hit public release, which almost never happens for anyone in the WNBA. Sneaker companies don't get that kind of organic buzz from other players. They usually have to pay for it through endorsement deals. And here it was happening for free in real time.
Hey, ain't no wearing these tonight.
I'm putting mine on right now.
I made a call to the president, and y'all see what happened.
Thank you. Oh, give me a hug, girlie.
We love you.
I think we're all the same size.
Hell yeah. We love the president. We love the president.
You're the second player to ever play them after this other young girl. But yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
And I'm about to wear these right now too.
Nice. Yeah, put yours. That's why I said
they go on my feet.
Courtney's gonna make shots from 40 tonight.
Okay, you need to hold it down, bro.
I'm wearing these tonight. Stop playing. But hey, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Courtney Williams and Natisha Heidemann, the stud buds duo who already run one of the most followed pages in the league, got their hands on pairs early and posted about it right away. That's not a small detail. These are established veterans with their own following, their own brand, their own reasons to stay neutral about hyping up a younger player's shoe, and they didn't hesitate for a second. When players who already have their own audience start showing off somebody else's sneaker, that's not a marketing push, that's a genuine cosign. Then, Jonquel Jones gets added to the mix, and this is the part that really seals it. Jones was the actual MVP of the All-Star game that weekend, dropping 22 points, 13 rebounds, and 8 assists. An actual monster performance that could have been the entire story of the weekend on its own. And she still made time to talk about Clark's sneaker. Think about that for a second. The player who won the award everybody's competing for was more interested in talking shoes with Clark than talking about her own MVP trophy.
That's crazy.
They were the same size as me.
So where was Reese during all of this? She's the one who spent the season comparing herself to Jordan, the guy whose sneakers built an entire industry on their own. If anybody was going to have a shoe moment at All-Star Weekend, you'd think it'd be her, right? Except here's what actually happened. While players are lined up asking about Clark's shoe, Reese pipes up and tells the other All-Stars she's got a shoe she can give them too, the Angel Reese ones, clearly expecting some kind of reaction back. Nothing. No requests, no excitement. Nobody in that room took her up on it. Not one player asking for a pair, not one post about it afterward. Just silence, the kind that's louder than any comment could ever be, playing out in front of the entire All-Star roster with everybody watching.
What y'all think, chat? Ooh. I like that little charm. Yeah,
What's the chat saying?
Fire.
Oh, fire. Fire. Nice.
They know what's going on.
Me and Courtney twinned it tonight, and then we got triplets on the bench.
You said, dang, so really nobody got them. Like, these exclusive as hell.
Yeah, it's just we all wear the same. So I had extras. I'm like, I gotta get you guys right.
That's love, bro. You gonna sign them after the game?
If you want me to.
I do.
Just don't sell them on eBay.
No, hell, come on, girl. You crazy as hell. You crazy as hell. Probably like a couple M's though.
At least damn, you gotta get close, all right?
That silence stings worse than the missed layup from earlier in the weekend, and here's why. A missed shot is a bad moment. It happens to everybody, and it disappears from memory by the next game. But sneaker culture in this league runs deeper than that. It's basically currency. When players want to be seen wearing your shoe, that's them telling you, without saying it out loud, whose brand actually means something right now. And when they don't, when the room goes quiet instead, that tells you just as much. Nobody in the media set this up. No producer staged players lining up for one shoe and ignoring the other. This all happened organically, in real time, in front of every single all-star in that building. And once that moment got out, it didn't just embarrass Reese for a weekend, it raised a real question about where these two players are actually headed next season. That whole weekend in Chicago boils down to one gap. Clark built her spot with hours nobody films, the fan lines, the sponsor stops, the logo threes with a defense actually trying. Reese built hers with talk, and the league saw the difference in real time. Why was Reese an all-star anyway? Let me know down in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications as we're bringing you all the action and top stories. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.